Just remember this, Mr. Potter, that this rabble you're talking about, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him, but to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. Well, in my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book. I'm talking about the building and loan.
I know very well what you're talking about. You're talking about something you can't get your fingers on, and it's galling you. That's what you're talking about, I know. There's just one thing more, though. This town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can come without crawling to Potter. Come on.
Are you not entertained?
Well, good movies.
It's Christmas!
Yes, welcome to Well Good Movies. I am your host, David Osger, and yes, it is Christmas, and this is Well Good Movies, the podcast that gives you the topics worth discussing and the movies worth watching. It's our Christmas special today, so we are here to give you that Christmas feeling, making you feel all special and in the Christmas mood. If you're a bit of a Scrooge, then I'm sure we're going to have something here that will make you feel happy. But by the feeling of the room, I think, thankfully, we haven't got any Scrooges, or if we did, I'm sure they wouldn't have a favourite Christmas film. Or if it was, it'd be something like Black Christmas or something. But yeah, basically, guys, if you are used to those sort of like holiday specials you get on TVs, especially those sort of cheesy ones where it's like, who's at the door? Well, this is that sort of special today. We've got lots of special guests, surprise cameos. We've got lots of games, and we might even have some singing along the way. Who knows? But to go through all that, obviously, at Christmas, it's all about family. So we've got some returning family members from the Fresh Take Well Good Movies crew. Alongside me today, I've got Laura and Nia Alavisos, and my co-host, Craig MacDonald. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. How are you all today?
Pretty good.
Very good, yeah. Like I said, all about Christmas. Laura, I know recently you've said that, you know, the big thing you're watching at the moment is Rick and Morty. How are you finding the new series?
Yeah, it's good. I don't know. It's not quite what I thought it would be. It's not quite as good as I think the series before.
Yeah. Are you watching like UK or is the US order? Because the US I think is slightly ahead of the UK.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm watching it on Channel 4 at the moment, so I'm probably on catch up from everyone else.
Yeah, I'm the same. So I think the second episode is it or the third? That one was a bit like, oh, okay, this is a bit different, isn't it? But yeah, I know what you mean. Apart from Rick and Morty, obviously, do you find films a big part of your Christmas experience, Christmas Day at the Leishon Davis household? Is it more about games?
Yeah, more about games, really, and just sort of chatting and eating a lot, really, rather than sitting down and watching anything.
Yeah. More in the build-up to Christmas, maybe. Watching.
Yeah, definitely.
And your best Christmas movie snack?
Christmas movie snack? Oh, I don't know. Maybe mince pies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, going for a bit of traditional Christmas food there.
Yeah.
So whether you mix in the movie snack and the Christmas snack, but I don't think they've quite made like a mince pie flavoured popcorn yet or anything.
And I forever hope that they don't.
No?
There is a company that does like weird flavoured popcorn, so you know, I think it's like a guy called like
An Abomination?
No. It's like his name is like Steph or something like that. So it's like Steph and Co or something like that. But it's just him. But yeah, they do things like cheese popcorn and wasabi and all kind of things like that. So who knows? They might have some sort of Christmas flavor this time of year. So we also have with us Nia, who we had on our Disney Plus and music episode of Film Talk. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. My biggest question to you, Nia, is obviously because you originate from the States and Disney Plus is released over there. Have you subscribed early? Have you been sneaky and actually got a subscription from one of your friends in America?
Well, my dad has a subscription, and I kind of like steal some of his information, so he gave me his password and username, but I have not watched anything yet.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So you're half...
I have it, but I haven't chosen to watch anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can still stay true to what you said originally on the episode.
Exactly. I haven't, like purchased anything.
Okay.
So there you go.
Exactly. You haven't given Disney any more of your money.
No views. None of my time yet.
So how have you found, how do you usually find Christmas over here compared to America, especially TV? Like, is there a big difference you find with British Christmas specials to US? Or
I don't really know about the UK Christmas specials, but what I've noticed over here, like right after Halloween, it was basically Christmas. Like in the States, we obviously have Thanksgiving, and that's sort of like the lead up to it.
Yeah.
But here, November 1st, straight up, is it the 25th already? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I didn't hate it though.
Okay.
But it was sort of like overwhelming. You used to walk in like to the stores and see like mince pies stocked up and ready to go, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah. Do they do mince pies in
No.
the States? No, I wouldn't have thought so. Yeah, actually, I think I saw like one of those Americans try British foods thing. I think it was on there, like mince pie. And do they have Christmas crackers?
No.
So
they don't have that, but I love the little Christmas hat and like popping it with,
That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously that's quite a British thing. So the first time you experienced that was over here, was it?
Yes,
Yeah.
but I've been here for Christmas quite a few times previously to moving, so
Yeah. Okay.
I love it.
Is the cinema trip a big part of your Christmas experience here, or do you think, like all of you, do you think going to the cinema is a particularly Christmassy thing to do, or?
Oh, you mean for like the blockbusters, like Star Wars?
Yeah, well, even just like said, a lot of families will be like, oh, we're going to go to the, local multiplex and, we'll watch our Christmas film of this year or whatever, which like I said, might be Star Wars or that kind of thing. So that what leads to a lot of success and makes sense because a lot of people are off work and that kind of stuff. But do you guys feel that like, it's more about being wrapped up nice and warm at home, or,
Yes.
is it about that like, yeah, let's go out as a family kind of thing?
For me, definitely just being wrapped up at home, with the family and just watching films that we already know and love, as opposed to like going out and dealing with the crowds and spending money and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because there seems to be less so actually Christmas themed films, whereas like the last few years, like Jumanji, Aquaman is like, these are very like summery sort of films actually. We're talking about Christmas crackers as a tradition in the UK. So we have some crackers. So Nia, I'll give you the honours. First one. Yeah. Nia won that one. You're going to have several hats by the end of this now. So we're already wearing Christmas hats just so everyone knows at home.
And one of us is looking incredibly dapper in a Christmas tie.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just law that you have to say the joke in this.
Yeah. What do you call a man with a paper bag on his head?
I can't answer because I actually just saw that.
Yeah.
I've cheated already.
I was trying to think of like a bad like film joke to go in it or something. It's like, but probably in bad taste for Christmas. So I'll just let you say it.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Russell.
Oh God,
I know.
terrible.
Who wrote this?
What's the gift?
It's a little frog.
Oh,
It jumps.
Oh, your favourite, David.
no, that mine was the fish. That's the one I don't understand. Is like, especially when you do like pay like £5 for a pack of like Christmas crackers. You're like, really? You've just given me like a piece of plastic in like a cracker. Plenty more Christmas crackers to come. Put on the crown if you feel, but obviously you already got a Christmas hat. So
Oh yeah, this is staying on.
Craig, we were talking about Rick and Morty to Laura, which interestingly, we were only just talking about a few days ago, your dedication to watching Christmas episodes at Christmas, which includes Rick and Morty. Yep. What's your philosophy on that?
Well, I mean, for me, if you're going to make Christmas special, I think you need to confine Christmas to its period of the year. So I physically, as much as physically possible, just not engage in anything Christmassy between the months of January and November. So literally, that's why we're recording today on December 1st. That's the only time I would allow engagement with Christmas. It's like,
I approve.
Nope, we are not doing like November 30th. Nope, go away.
Yeah.
So yeah, it means that I have not watched the Anatomy Park episode of Rick and Morty because I only started watching Rick and Morty early this year, and yeah, I've just made it that I will not watch that episode until Christmas.
Well, you can do now, but
Yeah.
it is one of those things now where you walk into a shop or something in October and you're like, what is this? You know, Christmas music is playing or something like that, or literally walk in, see the Christmas aisle start to be developed in September, I think, is as early as it starts sometimes.
Calm down.
I know,
Yeah,
it's
genuinely
mad.
does. I am aware of the fact that the day of the release of this episode is going to be a couple of people's birthday around here. So...
What
yeah,
is
so David, I believe you share a birthday with Nia.
Yes, December 6th.
Yes,
Whoop,
we are
whoop.
the Sagittariuses combined.
Yes.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Nia.
Yes, happy early birthday.
Yes, yeah. Well, this will be on December 6th. So if we're listening to this on December 6th.
birthday, Nia.
Yeah. Happy birthday to myself. Yeah.
Yeah, and also to make sure that we're not left out, Laura, I would like to say happy unbirthday to you and myself.
Oh my
Thank you very
God.
much. I think we're both in June, aren't we, Craig?
No.
You're not June.
No, I asked about this the other day because I thought you were in March.
Oh, you're March then?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go then.
Yeah, it was just, like, that's weird, actually. It's just like he had the same thing. He was like, oh, I think Laura's in the same month. It's like, oh, no, it's not. But, oh, well. Still spring.
Happy unbirthday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Babies of spring. We're babies of winter. And interestingly, actually, when I looked this up, shout out somebody I used to work with, Tom Arnold, who also shares our December 6th birthday.
Holy crap.
But weirdly, so our friend from The Real Experience,
Who
Daniel...
literally saved us today. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah,
Oh,
Daniel
thank you.
Cullinane, who we'll hear from later, his birthday's on December 8th. Our friend Stefanos, who was in the Marvel episode, is December 9th.
Nice.
Christopher Maxwell, who was on our Halloween horror episode, is December 9th as well.
Hell yeah.
And then our former host, Dale, is on December 11th. So,
Basically the best month.
yeah, so something about December and film nerds, which seems to sync.
Oh, no, I was going to say something about March and film nerds' parents. But there you go.
Yeah, so, like I said, happy birthday to all our fellow guests and hosts who have been...
And also, happy birthday to my nephew Theo, whose birthday it is, first birthday today of
Yeah,
recording.
first birthday on December 1st.
Yeah.
A proper Christmas
Wow.
child. Unless
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Theo.
Yeah, and then my sister's is tomorrow.
Ah, there you go.
Holy.
Lots of Christmas
And
birthdays
then my
going on.
grandmother's is also on Thursday. Just kidding.
I was gonna say, and also my grandmother is dead.
Right, so guys, just as a reminder, if you've not listened to the show before, the idea of this is that every episode we talk about different themes, topics, and movies, all to help our friend, the film god. So that basically means that each episode we sort of talk about these topics and give recommendations on what we should put in what we call the movie vault. So that is a collection of everything from the good, the bad, the bizarre, which sort of encapsulates movies. So remember to keep that in mind today when we're talking about these topics, what should go in the movie vault at the end. And obviously everyone at home, if you've got recommendations on what you think should go in, please do tweet us. You can find us on our sort of parent website, which is Fresh Take Hub, and that is our handle on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as well. So send us your favorite Christmas films, because by no doubt we're not going to be able to mention them all, because there's only 4 of us, so there'll only be 4 Christmas movies mentioned today. But there are lots of other favorites that we wish we could talk about. But before that, we'll have another Christmas cracker. Do you want Craig and Laura share this joy?
Yeah.
Yay.
Good. Both our guests won. No favourite.
Okay. What have I got? Oh, a little notebook.
Oh,
Ooh, jealous.
That'd be great for,
One note per page.
hardly anything. Okay, there's the joke. Oh, it's brilliant. What is furry and minty?
I tried to think. An after 8 mint that's gone down the back of the sofa.
That would be a better one.
A very factual joke.
Yeah.
That's a realistic Christmas fact there.
It's actually a polo bear.
Oh, God. Terrible.
I'm leaving.
Cool. Lots of Christmas crackers. Interesting with Christmas crackers today as well, guys. So as you know, we're all about fun and games, especially with our Endgame. So a little twist that we've got today is if you have a Christmas cracker and you win, if you have a little green spot in your winning part of the Christmas cracker, check your Christmas crackers now. It could mean something for you. So in the cardboard, probably in the main part of it where the toy and everything was, you might have to actually rip open the seam of the inside. Have you got a green spot? Green spot?
No.
No green spot. Let's see. No green spot. No green spot. Okay. Keep an eye out for the green spot. It's not like the pirate black spot. But yeah, if there's a green spot in a cracker, it could mean that there's something pops up. So, like I said, we are talking today about our favourite Christmas movies. So, similar to the format we've done in the past, each of us is going to take a Christmas film which we're going to talk about. The rest of us are obviously open to exchange our ideas, talk about them as well. But that person will be talking about why it's their favourite Christmas movie, and also maybe making part of an argument why it should go in the movie vault. So, we'll start off today with Craig and his favourite Christmas movie.
When the McAllister family left on their Christmas vacation,
did we miss the flight? No, you just made it. Yeah!
they forgot one small thing.
Have yourself
I have a terrible feeling.
Christmas.
Did you lock up?
Let yourself be light.
Do we set the timers on the lights?
What else could we be forgetting?
Our troubles will be ours.
Kevin!
Home Alone.
Police in the northern suburbs are on the lookout for a pair of burglars who are calling themselves the Wet Bandits.
We know that you're in there.
It's Santa Claus and his elf.
Get off my property.
This is my house. I have to defend it.
Where's your mother?
My mom's in the car.
Where's your father?
He's at work.
What about your brothers and sisters?
I'm an only child.
Where do you live?
Can't tell you that.
Why not?
Because you're a stranger.
He's a kid.
So mine's Die Hard. I'm joking. It's not a Christmas film. Or is it? Tell us below. No, so I've genuinely gone for Home Alone. For me, it basically combined a lot of thoughts that, you know, I've often had about Christmas, about like to what meaning does it have about, you know, being with family as opposed to like being on your own, and just like looking at that and just seeing, like, you know, it's just one of those films that truly embodies like the spirit of, like, even if your family feels large and you feel like disconnected, about how good Christmas can feel. And we're also beating up robbers, so what else is there to, you know, love about the film? So it's just genuinely entertaining, and I think it's just one of those things that I just like reminisce with a lot. So
Who is it?
It's Little Nero, sir. I have your pizza.
Leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of here.
Okay. Well, what about the money?
What money?
Well, you have to pay for your pizza, sir.
Is that a fact? How much do I owe you?
That'll be $11.80, sir.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Cheapskate.
Hey, I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead. 1, 2, 10.
yeah, that's definitely a prime reason why I love this film so much. Just because, like, I just love the creativity and inventiveness of the traps, especially, and just how cruel he is at times, just a bit sadistic. So.
Yeah, especially considering that, like, I think they like shot that movie specifically for the film as well, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, although you do have to question like how much he knows like the exact second to like press play again from the fast forwards.
Yeah, I've always been impressed at how he's able to like do that and manipulate it into like these situations. You know?
Yeah,
especially in like the second one, you know, in the hotel. Yeah, always so impressed.
He's a film editor in making. What can I know. Say?
Yeah. So what are the sort of, like I said, the biggest elements that you sort of like find Christmassy or gets you in the mood from this film?
Obviously, just the general setting of just like the sort of like suburban like era of America, like all covered in snow and ice. I mean, just like that general aesthetic alone, just you know makes me think of Christmas. But also, you have like the John Williams scores, especially like do a really good job at like creating that sort of family atmosphere. It's one of the only films that genuinely makes me massively think of family, especially around Christmas.
Yeah, that sort of like airport rush music, like that to me like encapsulates like the manicness of Christmas. You know, when you go to like the supermarket and everyone's like, "Oh my God, we haven't got cheese," you know, get the wine, you know. I think that music when they're rushing to the airport, they're like, you know, that is the perfect encapsulation of not only running to the airport when you're late for a flight, but also, yeah, that sort of like manicness of Christmas and everything like that. And yeah, only John Williams could come up with something like that.
Yeah.
And it's also, like you said, the suburban family thing, though. There's loads of people online who always say, like, how rich is this guy's dad to have that house? Like, it is a nice house.
And that larger family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be able to pay for, like, all that pizza. And I don't know if they pay for the entire holiday, but still.
They certainly paid for the way home.
Yeah, like, what's some of your favourite moments from the film?
I mean, obviously, you've got to go for some of the meme-worthy, like, scenes especially. So obviously we just had the keep the change, you filthy animal. We quote to each other a lot the Kevin scene.
Yeah.
And then outside of, like, I mean, if you have to ask me to, like, choose one of my favourite traps, I think I'd be hard pressed to do that, given there are so many, like, good ones.
Yeah.
But I'm just a big fan of just essentially like the ending of the film, weirdly, just like when the family are just massively reunited. That, and probably also the general joy of watching like a kid just like party around in the house on his own, and just obviously you have like the
yeah, that famous scream.
Yeah, they would probably be some of like my utterly favourite moments, I'd say. So like, what about you guys? What's your sort of relationship with Home Alone?
I usually watch it every year, like number 1 and number 2. But I've also...
And that's about a good place to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even think of like the other ones that they made. But sort of like what you said in terms of like the suburban life and like the snow and the trees. And it's just sort of like obviously a part of like the Christmas tradition. Like once Home Alone starts playing, you know it's Christmas. But I also really love Joe Pesci.
Oh my God, yeah.
I can't remember the other guy's name, but the two, like, you know.
Yeah.
The Wet Bandits.
Yes, the Wet Bandits who, you know, are stumped by this child. It's just hilarious, and it doesn't take itself seriously, and I just enjoy it every year.
Yeah.
Despite how violent it is, you know, like they should be dead. At least in the first, like, you know.
Oh, there are great videos online where they literally look at every pratfall or trap and look at like the amount of damage that it should have caused, and actually do a kill count for the film based on how much damage should have been inflicted.
Yeah, there's actually like a company that did like the realistic like traps, so like shows like what would actually happen to them and stuff. I think the craziest one when I was like looking into it, when I was finding the clips and stuff last night, was I forgot that in the second one, like you actually see the skeleton of the thinner, slender guy when he gets electrocuted. Because I remember seeing pictures being like of his skeleton, showing him like when people had like, you know, this is how bad like Kevin's pranks are and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, that's funny, Photoshop or whatever, and I was like, oh wait, that's actually in the film. Like you see his skeleton, like wow. So yeah, that always shocks me, but I think it is also
like he hits them in the face with paint cans, for God's sake.
And then like bricks from the roof that would go like right through your skull.
I think despite that though, it's the fact that it's because it's a child like being able to do whatever he wants, and every child sort of has that feeling at some point of Christmas. One, because, you know, you saw off school and you saw like all these new toys and stuff like that, but then also like Craig said, you know, about like family and stuff, and that is really sort of like, you know, tugs at your heartstrings with the mother, because anybody can look at that film and be like, what a terrible parent, but man, does that film make an effort to be like, you're not going to dislike this mother because she tries her damnedest to get back to him. You know, when she's on that van and in the airport and like, you know, get me back to my son and everything. And interestingly, she's the lady who voices, both Sally and the witch character from Nightmare Before Christmas, one of the Boogie's henchmen. So like I always find that bizarre that she like goes from like one Christmas film to another, but like completely different roles. But yeah, it's just that moment when she like appears at the end is just so heartwarming when he gets to see her again. But yeah, to me, I have some very fond memories of that film from childhood.
Yeah.
I think especially like the beginning of the film, because when you are younger, you tend to remember the beginning a bit more because you might have fallen asleep or something by the end. And when you get in like those sort of like, you think of like, you know, family with like cousins, and, you know, you get that like, oh, you little twerp and all this. And when like especially Buzz, like he's such a like horrible brother. I think I actually saw like a list the other day, and they were like, every character in film is redeemable bar these 4, and it was like him, the guy in Back to the Future, and it was like obviously, like you said, the traps as well, some of the biggest highlights, which we'll watch one now.
Yes. It's very Indiana Jonesy.
Yeah, that John Williams coming in.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that you could clearly see that it was glowing red.
I know.
That's another. You have to obviously you have to admire his inventiveness with the traps, but not even the traps. Like early in the film when he has that fake party setup, it's like wow, this takes effort.
Yes, I was always impressed with this.
This moment goes through me.
No.
I saw the other day somebody online was just like, if there is one moment in film that goes through me, it is this moment. It's like I've watched Saw, I watched, Final Destination, but that moment, it's like, yep.
It doesn't even go fully through, but you're just like, oh.
I know, I expected it to when I was rewatching it. I was like, okay, it doesn't, but
what I find amazing about these traps, and it's just one of the things I find utterly brilliant about the film, is that because obviously throughout the entire film, like when you see these two guys alluded to, and the fact that they're meant to be sort of essentially criminal geniuses who are hitting all these houses, and then get to this one house, and then all of their logic just turns off. They just do things that would make no sense to anyone. You have already been in a house in which this kid is doing things to bloody terrorize you. Why on earth would you then do things like, oh, there's a random thing, I'll pull it, iron in the face. The doorknob is clearly glowing red. Hand on it. Just I don't know if it's a case of they make Macaulay Culkin's character really, really smart, or just the adults really, really stupid. But I love it.
But that's what's great as well, is they add to that. It could just be another film that's just like, oh, it's just about this kid terrorizing these guys, but no, it's about him protecting his house and protecting his family, and that's another nice element.
I still like the movie theory that he becomes Saw.
That's the first I heard, actually.
Have you not?
Yeah.
No.
That would be terrifying.
I liked it.
It's Joe and Dan here from The Real Experience.
And we're wishing everybody at Well Good Movies a well good Christmas and a well good New Year.
Especially you, Craig, you naughty boy.
Yeah, I hope you've been a good boy this year, Craig. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the new year for another 12 months full of the best film chats in Wales. Bye.
Is it just me, or was that weirdly sexual?
Is this the first time you heard it?
Yeah.
Oh,
genuinely.
I didn't show him that one purposely to see his reaction.
Oh, 'tis the season.
To be fair, if Cole appears in your Christmas stocking on Christmas Day, you have them to blame now.
I mean, if I find out they've been in my house putting in coal, I'm setting up traps like Home Alone.
Okay, cool. Well, let's go, guys, to another Christmas cracker. Yay. Right, so me and Craig this time, is it?
Okay.
Yay. Let's actually
that's the second one you lost.
Pop the crack a bit. Yay. Wow.
Ow.
Oh, sorry.
Shots fired.
Craig won that one. Is there a green spot?
There is indeed a green spot.
Oh.
Oh, wow. All of my time on this show doing Endgames has now come back to bite me. Okay, so I got a roll of sellotape.
Oh, it's practical.
It's to fix that cracker back up.
You never know when you're going to need it.
Yeah, you can play again.
Okay. Okay, I actually like this cracker joke for once in my life. What do you call a penguin in the Sahara Desert? Lost.
Oh.
Hey.
I mean, at least it's not a stupid pun.
Yes.
Is it Happy Feet 3?
No, I could change that to make it more my style. Like, what do you call a penguin in the Sahara Desert? Dead.
Yeah. Reference to to Frozen 2 if you haven't seen Frozen 2 yet.
So okay, so yeah, I have got a green spot, and bear in mind for these mini games, David has basically been devising these.
Right, so I'll just explain the concept, guys. So we've got this little cup here which has a bunch of little notes in it. So the ones with the red stickers are times, and the blank ones are the challenge within that time. So Craig is going to pick two, making sure that he picks one which has got a red sticker on it. So
wait, I need to pick a red sticker, not a green sticker.
There's the green sticker is the cracker, but in these there's red stickers. Okay. So yeah, I've color coded everything. So yeah, pick either a blank one or a red one.
Yeah.
Right, so that's blank, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's your blank one. And then, so what?
Can I open it? Or?
Yeah, what does that say?
Blank is the best Xmas film. Sorry, I thought it was...
I know what I wrote there.
Xmas film because... In 30 seconds.
Oh, wow. You probably got like... Okay, so guys, we choose what Craig has to put in the blank. So we need to choose what is... Blank is the best Christmas film because... So what are we putting in that blank? Are we going to be cruel and give him something bad, or are we going to give him something good? What do you think?
Like any film?
Yeah. Yeah, if that would be really cruel. It was like Pirates of the Caribbean is the best Christmas film because...
No.
Or do we go with a bad Christmas film?
Or we can go with something like the joke you made earlier, Die Hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, so I'll give you 30 seconds. Craig has to convince us that it is the best Christmas film from his argument. If he does, then we'll give him a point. So, start in 30 seconds now.
Die Hard is the best Christmas film because at the end of the day, it has a lot of incredible action scenes, and incredible moments, including people like Bruce Willis and like Alan Rickman. I mean, who doesn't love Alan Rickman, right? He's an absolute bae, and just has like such cultural impact as well. So you have like the Nakatomi Plaza, you have like all of these scenes. You have one man fighting for what he needs to do to protect everyone. And what's better about the Christmas spirit than like somebody standing up for all of us?
Right. I didn't hear too much about Christmas till the end there, so I'm not sure. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I didn't hear as much like...
Why it's the best Christmas. I was
like
hearing more why it's a good film, but... Laura, do you agree?
I think, given the time restraint and the fact that he was just thrown on Craig, I think he did a very good job.
Are we giving Craig a point?
You know what? It is Christmas. Merry Christmas.
We'll just give everyone a point today. It doesn't matter. If you're wrong, you get a point. It's Christmas. So, okay, Craig. So, yep, you get a point. There you go. That's your point sound effect. So that when you said the 30 seconds thing, I was like, well, he is a debater, so like he has got an advantage there. But
that's awesome. Yeah.
Cool. That is our first little game of the episode. So, like I said, we've had our Christmas message, we've had our little game. So it's on to our next favorite Christmas movie. So it's over to Nia.
Hello, Bedford Falls! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, George!
Merry Christmas, George!
Merry Christmas, movie house! Merry Christmas, Emporium! Merry Christmas, you wonderful old building and loan! Hey! Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter! Happy New Year to you! In jail! Go on home, they're waiting for you.
Hate him. Which I'll discuss.
Yeah, don't worry, I've got a clip lined up for that. So the next clip, if you're talking about him, we'll cut to that one. But yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So yeah, why is It's a Wonderful Life your favorite Christmas movie?
Well, for me, it's because I watch it once a year on like Christmas Eve, but I learn something new about myself every year. So it's like, as an example, like last year I watched it in Orlando with my parents, and then this year I'll be watching in the UK after moving. And it's like, I'm not the same person that I was like a year ago. And the film reminds me of that and like how much I've grown and how I will continue growing when, I'm reunited with George Bailey and Bedford Falls and stuff. And it's basically like teaches me every year to be grateful for your friends and for your family and for like being alive. As cheesy as that is, it's just like the epitome of like what an old Hollywood film, was, and it just like fills my heart with like so much joy.
Yeah, it's the one type of film that you would watch every year because it's a Christmas film. Yeah,
but yeah, it's mostly just because it just gets you to think about your life and like your friends and your family, and just like Clarence coming down and being like, if you weren't here, all these things wouldn't have happened. It just hits you right in the feels.
So for those who might have not seen It's a Wonderful Life, just like briefly, or your summary of it.
So it's basically about a man named George Bailey who lives in the fictional town of Bedford Falls. And George is a great dude. He's like one of obviously the best people in the town, whose dream is to get out and to travel and to like build beautiful things like architecture stuff. But his father passes away and he's stuck taking care of the family business, which is the Bailey's building a loan. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then one thing leads to another, and George never makes it out. But he does meet the love of his life, and they have lots of kids, and they're a gorgeous family. Like Zuzu is like the best name, by the way, for like a daughter.
Oh, well. What is it? Zuzu?
I think that's one of his kids' names, like Zuzu.
Okay. Okay. But they say Gazuzu. I was like, wow, that is right.
No, I love that name.
Yeah.
So then one night he decides to end his life by jumping off a bridge. But as he's about to do it, someone else jumps in, and then he jumps in to save them. And the person turns out to be his guardian angel, Clarence, who was sent down from heaven on his own like special duty and his own like character arc to show George the meaning of life. And if he does, then he gets his wings and he gets to become an angel officially.
Yes. I was surprised when I was watching the trailer for this, like how much they play up the wonderful life aspect of it. Like the original trailer, it's like, it's a wonderful life. Watch why it's a wonderful life. Look at this wonderful shop. Look at this wonderful family. And it's like, it's a wonderful life.
Have you heard?
Yeah.
Life is wonderful.
I know. I was just like, you're kind of missing out the key element of this film, which is the dark soul. Like, you know.
Yeah, it gets super, super dark.
Yeah.
Like when you really think about it, especially for a film released like back then. But I guess it does make sense because it was released after the war, when things were a little darker and people coming to terms with life then.
Yeah, but then also wanted to cheer them up as well. So I suppose, yeah.
So one of the important things that I've learned is through watching It's a Wonderful Life is like we all end up where we're supposed to be like in the end, even though you didn't think so like at the time. Like George always wanted to leave. He wanted to get out.
Yeah.
But the place he really needed to be and he was meant to be was Bedford Falls because he did so much like great work there with his friends and with his family. And it's like I never knew I'd be sitting here in Cardiff, but it's like right now it feels like, you know what, this is where I'm supposed to be. I feel good,
Yeah, it's about being happy with what you got. So
exactly.
And they make that message of if you keep chasing something that will never happen, you just spend your life chasing something rather than actually realizing, oh, this is what's happening right now, kind of thing.
Yes,
which I think is important for a lot of people these days, especially with social media. They can easily just be like, oh, look at all these great places people are going to, etc.
I know, and it's like what really matters is like what you do with what you have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then obviously no man is a failure who has friends. Like every time, like the ending when he opens, like it was in the book, right? I think that Clarence leaves like on top of the money pile, the massive money pile from like all his friends and stuff.
Yeah.
That he writes in. It's just like, endless tears.
The bit her saying look, Daddy, every time a bell rings, it's
and
like,
he's like, attaboy, Clarence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like that's such a heartwarming moment. I think it's just the way the child like says it as well, like, look, Daddy, every time a bell, and you're like, so innocent. You're like,
yeah, but then it's like through that you learn that everyone sorry, my voice just went everyone has
it's
a
the
story.
Emotion is
yes. Damn you, Jimmy Stewart. But everyone has a story. Like you guys have your own stories and your own lives and struggles, but like so does like the postman and your coworker or someone you don't really speak to a lot. So it sort of teaches you to treat everyone with compassion and patience.
Yeah, it's a great message.
And like just a small little action goes like a long way, even if it's like saying, hey, how are you doing today?
Yeah. And you see the story like brought up in a lot of other things, don't you? Like, so even though if you haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life, you will watch it and then be like, oh, I've seen this in something else, because there's that whole like if you had never been born thing, which they use in quite a lot of like TV shows and stuff. Then as well.
So I have seen a beautifully cruel parody of this.
Oh.
So,
where?
The BBC quite a few years ago used to have a sitcom called My Family. And the father, Ben Harper, he was going through like his own crisis, so his own personal angel was like, well, let me show you a world in which you had never been born. And it was basically everything was just the same. So he's just there like, oh my God, I have no impact. He's like, oh, I'm really sorry. No, it's brilliant. It means that everything wrong in the world is not my fault. And then he just has the same reaction as like James Stewart. He's just like, oh, I love this. I'm not responsible for anything.
I actually like that.
That's amazing.
Runs through the street, Merry Christmas!
Yeah, he's just hugging his children. Just like...
He leaves them,
There can be some dark ones, like I said, because we'll talk about like the Muppets later, because they do Christmas Carol, but they actually did like a very merry Muppet Christmas or something for it was more of a TV movie, and that they sort of adapt that storyline for that one as well. But that it's not a very merry Muppet Christmas, because it's like quite dark, like when Kermit sees the world without him, because it's like, you know, in the Muppet movie, there's like, what's his name, like Doc Hopper or whatever, wants to make like frogs' legs. It's like he's been successful at that, and it's like there's like fast food chains of frogs' legs around the country, and like his friends are like I'm pretty sure one of them is actually working as basically like a hooker or like a strip dancer, like one of the Muppets, and you're like, wow, this went there. It's just like, so yeah, and basically they're making the whole parallel of, you know, like you have the statues of Kermit, like, thank you, Kermit, for all the, you know, the things you've done for the world, and it's just like, without you, children are not happy, and it's just like, it's a depressing world, and it's like, oh god. So yeah,
wow,
dark take on that story. But what any other cool takeaways from it?
One more is basically sort of like, make sure you dream big, no matter what anyone says. It's like, obviously some of George's dreams don't come true, but it's still important to be motivated and to have goals and aspirations. I don't know, just to keep you motivated, keep you going. There's nothing wrong with having dreams. Yeah.
What about like in terms of like the behind the scenes thing? One thing I was interested in what you think about is the colour or black and white version. Because obviously I know black and white is the main one you get.
I don't like the colour. It just makes it doesn't feel right. Like it wasn't made to be colour, so it just feels something's off.
I feel like the black and white definitely works for the sort of atmosphere of the film anyway. Because weirdly enough, in the scene that we just saw, even though it was still in black and white, there was still something noticeably like more energized about it, which I feel like that would be lost in color, because I haven't seen the color. And
oh no, I refuse.
Frankly, don't intend to.
I'm pretty sure is it like it's a digital colorization? Is it, or
it's
is
a digital life?
Yeah.
No, is it like they've colored the film afterwards, kind of thing? It's not like it was. I'm not sure if it was ever actually filmed in color.
No, I think it was done after.
Yeah,
which I don't understand why they did.
Yeah, so when I remember watching it the first time, being like, right, watch the black and white one, because that's how it was originally intended.
Excellent.
Whether I watched the color one afterwards, I can't remember, or just watched through parts of it. And last night I saw the scene at the end, and I was like, oh wow, this actually does look quite convincing that it was filmed in color. But there are bits at the start that look kind of like as if, you know, somebody has just, you know, like when you get that effect of, like, say you take a photo and you turn it from green to blue or whatever, and it just has that like weird reverted. It looks a bit like that at some parts of the film, or it looks as if literally somebody's taken somebody's coat and sort of painted over it. So
yeah, it doesn't feel right. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, and I think keeping it black and white keeps it in that realm of like Citizen Kane and those sort of like classic movies.
Why would you change it? Yeah, just leave it.
Other technical or trivia things?
Yes. So I found these on an article from Vanity Fair. It's called "It's a Wonderful Life at 70: A Toast to the Richest Film in Town."
Okay.
This was Jimmy Stewart's first film after returning home from fighting in World War II. He was deployed there for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
And the idea of the film came from author Philip Van Dorenstern, who had become frustrated that he couldn't get a short story published, so he had sent it to his friends as a 21-page Christmas card instead. So can you imagine getting like that huge Christmas card to be like, whoa, what's happening here?
Can you imagine if all of his friends had the same idea to do it, and you just get like loads of 21 pages, like, oh, for God's sake.
Yes.
I've got to write my own 21-page Christmas cards. Come on, guys.
That's actually a good idea, but it's so time-consuming.
Yeah, exactly.
It's better than getting like those novels from families, you know, that's like, oh, this year so-and-so is doing this, so-and-so is doing that. No one cares.
Yeah.
And then let's see. The Bedford Falls set was one of the largest American film sets ever created, sprawled across 4 acres with 75 fake stores and buildings in a 3-block main street and 20 full-grown oak trees.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I saw this last night. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, because that scene where he's walking through, I thought that was a real place. And I was like, that's a set? What? I was
like now it would just be like green screen, one building.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly, yeah.
Kind of miss that.
I wonder if they repurposed, like, you know, when you get like Universal lots, you know, so they keep, and you see the same place like in a few films. I wonder if they sort of repurposed it for other stuff or not. It's looking.
Good question. Yeah.
Guys at home, have a look. Tell us on social media.
Let me know. And this line was improvised by Jimmy Stewart when he was like, I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there and you can hear me, show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope. Show me the way, God. And according to Stewart, as I said those words, I felt the loneliness, the hopelessness of people who had nowhere to turn, and my eyes filled with tears. I broke down sobbing. That was not planned at all.
Oh, wow.
And that goes in part with his time in the war, you know, and coming back to reality and stuff. And did you guys know the film was considered a box office failure? finishing 26th in the box office revenues for the year of 1947.
Yes.
And like everyone who was making it, like Frank Capra, they all felt like they were making the best films of their career. And it's just funny how that kind of like works out.
Yeah, that happens with quite a lot of like classic films, isn't it? Like Blade Runner, they, you know, like it's then becomes that cult following kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the last one, the reason why it's so popular today is it wasn't until 1974 when Republic Pictures, who owned the film's copyright at the time, chose not to renew the rights to the film. So American TV channels started showing it continuously, you know, thanks free content, and thus helping families and different, you know, people every year discover the brilliance of the film and start great traditions.
Exactly, that's where a lot of these films like come into their own, is syndications or like playing it back and stuff. And what do you think, like, for any of you guys, you know, what is it again that makes it so like such a Christmas, you know, like does imbue Christmas for you as well? So as well as being such a great film on its own, you know, what do you think makes it such a staple Christmas film as well?
I think it's just family and being together and just realizing the importance of life and the importance of, you know, relationships. That is just very like Christmassy, you know, aside from, you know, you look out and it's like consumerism and blah, blah, blah. But then you just think back to like simple times with, you know, George Bailey and his family and his friends. And
I think, and that's very relevant for the clip we have from it, because I think this rings true to today, even when you watch this.
What does that get us? A discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class. And all because a few starry-eyed dreamers like Peter Bailey stir 'em up and fill their head with a lot of impossible ideas. Now, I say...
Just a minute. Now, hold on, Mr. Potter. Just a minute. Now, you're right when you say my father was no businessman. I know that. Why he ever started this cheap penny-ante building alone, I'll never know. But neither you nor anybody else can say anything against his character, because his whole life was... Why, in the 25 years since he and Uncle Billy started this thing, he never once thought of himself. Isn't that right, Uncle Billy? He didn't save enough money to send Harry to school, let alone me. But he did help a few people get out of your slums, Mr. Potter. And what's wrong with that? Probably... Here, you're all businessmen here. Doesn't it make them better citizens? Doesn't it make them better customers? You said that they... What'd you say just a minute ago? They had to wait and save their money before they even thought of a decent home? Wait for what? Until their children grow up and leave them? Until they're so old and broken down that... Do you know how long it takes a working man to save $5,000? Just remember this, Mr. Potter, that this rabble you're talking about, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him, but to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. Well, in my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book. I'm talking about the building and loan.
I know very well what you're talking about. You're talking about something you can't get your fingers on, and it's galling you. That's what you're talking about, I know. Well, I've said too much. You're the board here. You do what you want with this thing. There's just one thing more, though. This town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can come without crawling to Potter. Come on.
Told.
Yes. Shop local.
Yes.
Also, I hate him.
Yeah. It's so relevant to today, though, when he's saying that, like, you know, you have something you can't get your hands on, and, you know, like, you know, working people and stuff like that. You know, I can't... There's another example of it, but... I suppose maybe something like the Charlie Chaplin, like Dictator, when a lot of people take moments from the past to be like, wow, this is still so relevant today, you know, and that's another example of that. Yeah. Exactly. Cool. Thank you, Nia.
One question. Why has no one pushed Mr. Potter down the stairs?
Oh.
No one in Bedford Falls would have cared. Literally no one would have cared. That's it. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. An angel can get his wings if he pushes it down.
Yes, someone, please travel back in time.
Whoops. Okay, so guys, we're going to have another Christmas cracker. So we go me and Laura this time.
Yes.
This is rigged.
You still haven't gotten one. Oh, no. Unacceptable.
I've not got a green dot either.
No, you sure?
No.
Oh, come on.
Look in the main bit. I'm sure there must be.
In the main bit. I've got a cookie cutter. A Christmas tree.
Mm.
Oh, wait. No, yes, I do.
Yeah. Apparently it's just like, are you sure? Cool. So that means that you pick from the cup.
Oh, no. I'm nervous now.
Good luck.
So remember, get a plain one first.
Okay. Santa Portrayals.
Okay. And then
in 1 minute.
Oh, so you've got 1 minute to name as many portrayals of Santa as you can. So whether you just like name the actor, the film they're in, the versions of Santa,
Gosh.
and yeah. So
I think I'm just going to go with there's a Santa in this film. There's a Santa in this film because
if you could think of the actor who plays them, or just like if it's a different type of Santa, then just mention it. But yeah, we'll give you. So it's 1 minute you had, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you're the one that had the notes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. Sorry. 5 minutes.
Okay, so, and then I'll try and sound off as you go along. So 1 minute starting now.
Okay. Santa in Polar Express. Santa in the two Santas in the Santa Claus, because there's Santa and then Tim Allen Santa. So I'm going to count those two. Why is this hard? Okay, Santa in Elf. Santa in Rise of the Guardians. Santa in...
I love that one.
Why can I not think of Christmas films? Oh my gosh, it's so difficult.
25 seconds.
Santa in... Oh my goodness.
Could we help or no?
Who plays Santa in the Rise of the Guardians? Do you remember who plays him?
Nope.
No.
There's one, Miracle.
Miracle on 34th Street. Santa.
Slay.
Huh?
No, nothing.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think as well. Oh,
Hooray!
1
I did
minute.
horrendous.
No, that was pretty good. What did you count on that, Greg?
So in the end, you were able to name 6 films that have Santa in.
Okay, not bad.
That's
I think that's
awesome.
pretty good effort. Yeah. So, yeah, and I think purely for the Rise of the Guardians ones, I'm willing to give a point because last night I was thinking if somebody mentions Rise of the Guardians, I'll be impressed. It's Alec Baldwin who voices him in that one.
Okay.
But yeah,
Very underrated.
yeah.
I love when I saw that in the cinema.
Yeah.
And it's got
DreamWorks film.
Alexander Desplat does the score, but there's a really good cinematographer who actually worked on that film as well.
I forgot his name.
Which I think makes it so much more cinematic. But yeah, Russian Santa with swords, what's not to love?
Got Jack Frost in there.
Yeah,
Easter Bunny.
Yeah, you got it all. So you
Okay.
can watch it Easter, Christmas, whenever you want. Cool. So with that, it's on to Laura's favourite Christmas film.
Wow! What's this?
This is the North Pole.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Where's the snow?
Why are you smiling like that?
I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite.
Make work your favorite. That's your favorite, okay?
Okay.
Work is your new favorite.
Fine.
It's time for the announcement.
Okay.
Okay, people, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh, my God! Santa here? I know him. I know him.
He'll be here to take pictures with all the children.
Yeah.
Just keep your receipts. 10 a.m. tomorrow.
10 a.m. tomorrow.
Santa's coming to town.
Yes.
Sign this one.
Oh, hi. Santa's coming.
Such a classic scene.
Yes.
So yes, Elf, your favourite Christmas movie.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
I know Dave was quite, not considered, was... Well,
Surprised.
Surprised is
Yeah.
the right word to use. I picked this because he thought I would have picked Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
It's
Another
my
good
favourite one. But I didn't pick that one only because I don't see that one as a Christmas film. I think only because I watch it all the way through the year that I don't really feel it. It's a Christmas film.
And it
It's
is
just
like
a holiday film, I'd say.
Yeah. So I picked Elf.
Yeah.
I think I like Elf. Probably because of the time it came out. So I was 12 when it came out. So I think I was still at the point where Christmas was still magic to me. But I was old enough to sort of understand that Santa wasn't, spoiler, Santa's not real.
Oh, no.
What? But I still had that, excitement of coming downstairs on Christmas Day and opening presents. So I think that was kind of why I liked that. And I think I've liked it into my adult years because of my background in psychology. So the fact that he's been raised by elves, and so when he goes into our world, he's like a complete weirdo to everyone. Like, what is wrong with this person? Like, he loves Christmas. Like, what is going on? But yeah, and I think it's just a feel good movie, and it's it's hilarious. I think this is the first film I saw when I was young with Will Ferrell in. I think it was the first role I've ever seen him in.
Yeah.
So to then see him in like Ron Burgundy and Step Brothers, just like, oh, okay, this is completely different to what he's like in Elf, but okay. And I think it's nice. I think it's sort of a way of telling people that just because you're an adult doesn't mean you haven't got to be excited about Christmas. Like his dad, he's so like, you know, he's a bit of a Scrooge. He's like, whatever. He's more interested in work and earning money than his family, whereas Elf teaches him like, you gotta be excited for Christmas. Christmas is amazing, kind of thing. So yeah, I think that's why I like it.
It's also that element of, like you said, I think it was the first film I saw him in, and to me, every time I see him afterwards, he's one of those actors where it's like Will Ferrell as kind of thing. So even as Ron Burgundy, I still see him I still see him as Will Ferrell playing that part. Like, but to me, he so sinks into the character with Buddy. Like, you know, when we're watching that clip with Buddy, like I see Buddy, I don't see Will Ferrell as Buddy kind of thing. I think that's what's really good about it, and you can tell in that performance he's so convincing when he does that reaction. It's not like cheesy, overblown. It's like genuine, like excitement. And I think a lot
of it for me is that I love how like stiff he keeps throughout like the entirety of his performance. I think that just sort of adds to the sort of like childlike enthusiasm, which is just kind of unique for Ferrell at this point.
Exactly. So, well, any other big things that sort of stand out to you as a Christmas film, or like trivia from it, or?
I think as a Christmas film, just like a big part of the whole story of it is to try and get his dad to kind of realise that there's more to life than working and earning lots of money. It's, you know, that is nice, but you've got to, you know, the most important things in your life are your family and friends, and you've got to make time for that. Otherwise, you're kind of living a bit of an empty life if you're just going to work, coming home, earning lots of money kind of thing. I mean, there's a scene in the film where he comes home for dinner and he just literally just picks up his plate and goes and works in the study rather than sitting down and having food with his family, which is really kind of sad, really, that there's people in this life now, even, you know, with this so bogged down with doing work that they've just literally not got time for their own family to sit down for half an hour at dinner time, which is kind of sad. So I think it kind of shows people, like, you know, you need to have that time to have with your family, because that's what Christmas is about. That's what life is about, really. So yeah.
And I'm rewatching it and stuff. What's the standout? You know, again, is it the humor that you love? Is it, you know, again the sort of feelings of it?
Yeah, I think the humor really gets it. I think one of my favorite scenes in the whole film is where he walks into a big department store and there's a lady offering up perfume, and obviously he's never come across perfume before, and he thinks it's a spray to put in your mouth, and he sprays it in his mouth. And the reaction is just absolutely hilarious. It makes me laugh every time, even though I know he's coming. It's so funny. He's just so like, oh my gosh, what have you given me? You're trying to kill me.
That's true.
Clip that you got coming up as well is really funny as
well. We'll go to that clip now. So
you got
Dad, I'm in love, and I don't care who knows it.
Buddy, not now. Can you please go back to the pit? I'll come visit you in a little while, okay?
I didn't know you had elves working here.
Boy, you're hilarious, my friend.
He doesn't. Get back to the story, please.
So, on the cover above the title.
Does Santa know that you left the workshop?
You know, we're all laughing our heads off.
Did you have to borrow a reindeer to get down here?
Buddy, go back to the basement.
Hey, Jackweed, I get more action in a week than you've had your entire life. I've got houses in LA, Paris, and Vail. Each one of them with a 70-inch plasma screen. So I suggest you wipe that stupid smile off your face before I come over there and smack it off. You feeling strong, my friend? Call me Elf one more time.
He's an angry elf. Look at you! Ow! Hey, look! I wasn't ready for that.
Call me Elf
One more time. Call me elf.
You're an elf.
So good.
I find it really weird how much his dialogue is basically just like Tyrion's.
Yeah.
Even like the use of like my friend, is this just a thing that like Dinklage does in every film? Everything he does.
He is kind of typecast, but not in like obviously the roles that you'd have to play for like his height and everything, but also like he is usually that sort of stern, like, you know, smarter guy kind of thing. But yeah, I remember thinking of that scene, like, has that aged well? I don't know, kind of thing. And when I rewatched it, I was like, well, no, actually, it's fine, because especially the guy's reaction to when he goes, oh, you did know you had elves working here, and that guy who then just looks like, oh my god,
it's like Andy Richter, I think.
Yeah, so I think that's just like a perfect depiction of how people would react in reality, I think. I think it stands out as well for, like, similar to Home Alone, where you have, like, the traps. There's also, like you said, the things like the perfume. The one that sticks in my mouth is the spaghetti and candy thing.
Have you ever thought about making that for yourself? Put some maple syrup on there?
I don't know. Part of me always sees it and there's like, like, I don't know whether to be, like, sick
M&Ms?
or, like... It's one of those where it's just, like, it sticks in your mind, like, because it's such a vivid food that he makes. But yeah, I don't know if I fancy it. Maybe fish fingers and custard from Doctor Who, but maybe that one is a bit too far. I don't know.
I think they're both equal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Try it at home.
I do think one scene that does stick in my mind as well is another time when he's in the department store and he goes up the escalator and he just, you know, he doesn't quite know how to work it, and he's letting people go, and then he finally gets on there and he just puts the one foot on there and just leaves his other foot behind, and he's slowly just doing the splits. And just every time I go on an escalator now, I always think of that scene. Just like, I mean, for years, me and my sister would be like, should we do the elf thing today? And my mum would be like, no, it's dangerous, don't do that. Like, I'm sorry, but it's funny. Yeah.
I think you still see pictures there online, don't you? Like when when you're nervous or something. Or like there's that video of the dog going on the escalator. Have you seen that where the guy has to pick up the dog and sort of like?
You know, there are loads of those, to be fair.
Yeah.
They're always golden retrievers.
True.
Cool, thanks, Laura. So that's Laura's favorite Christmas film. We'll now go to another message from one of our Well Good Movies alumni, from Christopher Maxwell, who also helped us out today.
Hello, Well Good Movies. It's Christopher Maxwell here from your Halloween special 2019 on classic horror movies, and I'm here to share with you some Christmas cheer. Now, as the theme of today's episode is discussing favourite Christmas movies, David asked me if I could share with you my favourite Christmas movie. And I think it's a toss-up between either Gremlins or Black Christmas. Because, of course, even a Christmas movie can be a scary movie. To everyone at Well Good Movies and all their fans listening wherever you are, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Craig wasn't scared, freaked out by that one.
Spooky. It's spooky for me.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. But it is true, like some of the films we're talking about, like I said, you have those dark elements, so you're like, oh, especially like Nightmare Before Christmas and Gremlins, like he mentioned. Cool. Shall we have another cracker, guys? One more. There's one more left.
Okay.
Who's going to have this one?
Should be Nia, because I've done two.
Yeah,
so
it would
Nia.
be definitely Nia. Who's it between? Nia and...
Well, you've pulled in
myself.
Nia, so...
Oh. And also I avoid doing the game, so that's fine.
There's a green thing in here.
Yes.
What do you call a man with a spade on his head?
Doug.
You win.
That's the game of this one. Okay, so pick a plain card. So, what have you got?
Animated Christmas films. In 1 minute.
Okay. So, name as many animated Christmas films in 1 minute as you can. You ready?
Okay, let's do it.
And go.
Well, there's A Nightmare Before Christmas, Rise of the Guardians. There's Claws that I just watched on Netflix. Really good.
Yeah.
I can't think of any more right now. Oh, crap. Christmas Express, something with Tom Hanks is in it.
Polar Express.
The Polar Express, yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
You're a mean one.
Oh, the Grinch? How did I forget the Grinch? Oh my gosh, it's the pressure. And then there's like this, I can't remember it.
We mentioned one earlier.
Which one did I mention earlier?
No, like we all mentioned earlier. Kind of Christmas film.
I can't.
Russian Santa.
I think I said Rise of the Guardians.
Sorry. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I said Rise. Oh, there's like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. There's Frosty the Snowman. There's all those classic ones.
Don't give a tick for all the classic ones.
No.
Okay, that's
it.
time. That's time.
How'd I do?
You got 7.
Hey,
well done.
Better
Yeah.
than like 1 or 2.
It's really difficult when you're under pressure.
Yeah,
isn't
you're
it?
just like, oh my God.
Again, that story that me and Craig share of me doing the 1 minute one on real experience of or like guessing a character in a film or wherever it was. It's like, is it man? No. Is it a woman? It's like, why did I ask
You're
that?
like, what? I'll be driving home and thinking of more and be like, God,
Yeah, exactly.
I missed it.
No, well, like I said, 1 point for Nia. Good effort.
Yeah, easily.
I think my Polar Express clue is pretty subtle.
Yeah, thank you. It's like Some Train, Tom Hanks, CGI.
Cool. So the next favourite Christmas movie will be mine today, which is The Muppets Christmas Carol. The one thing I'll say is it me or is it getting chilly around here?
When a cold wind blows, it chills you to the bone.
But there's nothing in nature that freezes your heart like years of being alone.
It paints you with indifference like a lady paints with rouge.
And the worst of the worst,
The most hated and cursed
is the one that we call Scrooge.
Unkind as any, and the wrath of many. This is Ebenezer Scrooge.
Oh, there goes Mr. Humbug. There goes Mr. Grim. If they gave a prize for being mean, the winner would be him.
Old Scrooge, he loves his money 'cause he thinks it gives him power.
If he became a flavor, you can bet he would be sour.
Even the vegetables don't like him.
Yeah, so the opening, well, pretty much the opening to the film, after some narration from Gonzo, etc. But that was Scrooge from A Muppet's Christmas Carol, which every year when it starts to get that chill in the air, when you get that September to October feeling, when it starts to get a bit colder, similar like when you're on an escalator, Laura, that song just pops in my head. It's just like when a cold wind blows, it chills you, and it just makes me think of that. And that's part of why I love this film, is just they perfectly encapsulate so many feelings of winter and of Christmas. You know, to me as well, I think, you know, there was other contenders like, you know, The Grinch or Nightmare Before Christmas, but I think where you have elements like, you know, Halloween, also like, you know, being a Grinch, etc., like, you know, that is where they can lose out on certain elements. So I feel The Muppets Christmas Carol just encapsulates all the elements of Christmas in quite a nice sort of package. And also it's the Muppets, so, you know, what better, you know, reason do you need to have like fun and joy and comedy? But yeah, that's one of the standout moments for me is, you know, is Scrooge. I think it's great there's a musical because, you know, again, Christmas time is all about music. The fact that it sort of tells you so much about the character of Scrooge. So by saying, you know, chills you to the bone, freezes your heart, the, you know, wrath of many. I think when you watch other adaptations of Christmas Carol, one thing I find lacking is that, you know, you just get introduced to this character at the beginning and he's just being mean to people, which obviously happens in this film, but, you know, it's only a song that can sort of like give you those, you know, evocative words and themes that make you feel the character. So saying like, you know, cold heart and like wrath, you know, where somebody could say that in dialogue, it just doesn't have the same sort of like impact, you know, and it makes you take him seriously. I think a big standout from this film as well is Michael Caine as Scrooge. And I think one of my favourite sort of bits of trivia from this is that he approaches the film, I think in his words, as he's acting alongside the Royal Shakespeare Company. So he decided to see it not as performing alongside Muppets. He treated them the same as like normal actors, which I think is, you know, makes the film all that much better, because there's so many times in other Muppet or animated films and stuff where they're just playing off the like goofiness of it. But the fact he takes it so seriously is what, again, makes this a really serious Christmas Carol adaptation. And there's been other adaptations of Christmas Carol which are actually probably maybe more silly than the Muppets version. So, you know, the fact you got Gonzo and Rizzo narrating, I think adds a lot to it as well. So, like, I think one of the writers of the film said that when he read the book, he thought, well, something that's sad that you lose is like Charles Dickens' voice in the book, because there's a lot of prose in there, like describing what's happened. So by having Gonzo play Charles Dickens, it allows you to have that sort of book-like feel by introducing the film and telling you what's happening, which is useful when you're a child, especially. But also leads to a lot of like good comic moments, like at the end when the Grim Reaper sort of looking ghost of Christmas future appears, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to leave now. This is too scary for us," kind of thing. So, which I always love. do you guys, have you guys got certain memories of this film, or did you grow up with it? What's your experiences with it?
Yeah, I think I actually watched The Muppets Christmas Carol before any other adaptions of it, so I thought that this was the thing, kind of thing. But I think as well, like putting the Muppets into it just opens it up for kids. I mean, it's quite a dark story behind it, but I think it just makes it more accessible for kids, and it is. Something, even from maybe the age of like 9 or 10, really, there's something you can take away from it rather than just, oh, it's the Muppets, they're funny and kooky and crazy and stuff.
Yeah. I find it really weird, but also incredible, like how respectful of the original story that they remain, even though, at its heart, there's still like a lot of the, like the Muppets traditional sort of humor involved. Just the fact that, and I think Michael, as you say, Dave, like Michael Caine is part of the reason for that, because if they were to like animate his performance in any way, I think they would lose a lot of what actually I really love about the story. But because he keeps that grounded reality, in some ways as well, it also makes the Muppets sort of work at his level as well, because obviously. Like the Muppets that don't necessarily interact with him yet, they go on like some of the antics, but like the ones that actually do, so like Kermit's character, it still has to be forced with that reality, which allows that darkness to come through. But I absolutely agree, Laura. I think as like an adaptation to get kids involved in the story, like this is basically perfect.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you look at Rotten Tomatoes, like they have a list of like top Christmas films, and they're like, oh, it's not one of the best adaptations of the story, but it's still a serviceable one. But I'm like, well, there's actually only one other Christmas Carol adaptation they had above Christmas Carol on that list. So even though they say it's not the finest adaptation, there's only actually that on their list. It's actually the second best. So. But also when you're talking about that, like, it's a scary story, what I really appreciate about it as well, and you don't really realise as a kid, is when you watch, like, the Muppets do, like, I think they did, like, Wizard of Oz and stuff in, later films, or just The Muppet Show, or any other sort of, like, cartoons where they're like, oh, let's put these characters in a classic story. It's the very easy thing to do is be like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if, this character was that, character? And like you said, with the interactions with the Muppets, the ghosts of Christmas past, future and present are all still original characters, and especially past and future, don't look Muppet-like at all. And I think that really adds, again, that sort of serious and seriousness to the film and sort of gravitas, because you still see them as serious, whereas I think the filmmakers said originally they were thinking of having the Muppets as the ghosts. So like Gonzo would have been like the Ghost of Christmas Future, and there would have been
that wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, and there would have been the joke, there's nose come out the cloak and stuff. But yeah, you would have lost the seriousness. So I think the fact that they're sort of supporting characters like adds to what Caine was saying, is that these are like normal actors for me, and they just inhabit that world. So and as well, that to me a lot of the things in this, like, because maybe it is my first interaction with the story as a child, but to me Michael Caine is Scrooge. Like, anybody else I see that, I can't see them as the character, because he nails it so much for me. I think The Ghost of Christmas Past, I think, is one of the best representations of that, just that weird floaty like look they give to it. Like other films, they make it like a sort of flame, or they make it just like a golden ghost, and I'm like, that one has a creepy
What's the adaptation
feeling.
where they just give it a weird baby face? Like,
yeah, is that's not the Jim Carrey one, is it? Or,
I think it is, yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting actually, because it was like a puppet which they put into water, and that's how they get that floaty effect. So they filmed it in water and then overlaid it over the film, so that's how she's all sort of ethereal looking. Originally they did it in oil, but apparently that was too like problematic. But yeah, probably quite. Yeah, so I think that's a really important point. But also on the other side of things, it is the fun and the humour and the comedy of it, which, like I said, my favourite clip of the film is just a perfect depiction of, which shows the darkness and the light.
Thank you for not shouting at me.
Let us deal with the eviction notices for tomorrow, Mr. Cratchit.
Tomorrow's Christmas, sir.
Very well. You may gift wrap them.
Let us help you with that, Mr. Cratchit.
Oh, my, there are certainly a lot today.
We'll get it.
Okay. There you go.
Down on an end.
Christmas is a very busy time for us, Mr. Cratchit. People preparing feasts, giving parties, spending the mortgage money on frivolities. One might say that December is the foreclosure season. Harvest time for the moneylenders.
Boss, pack some. Tell him, Mr. Yes. Come on. Do it now. Come on.
If you please, Mr. Scrooge, it's gotten colder.
Yeah.
And the bookkeeping staff would like to have an extra shovel full of coal for the fire.
We can't do the bookkeeping. Yeah, all of our pens have turned to inksicles. Our assets are frozen.
How would the bookkeepers like to be suddenly
Unemployed!
This is my island in the sun.
I believe you've convinced them once again, Mr. Scrooge.
Yeah, so that just to me like perfectly depicts the Muppets' humor. I just love that. Like
that is the scene. That was the scene just completely in my head when we were talking about that.
I just love like it's just bizarre, but again they just carry on as normal after. Scrooge just doesn't like pay attention to it, but yeah, it's just the timing of it is just perfect. And yeah, it's just very much that Muppets humor. I also love like jokes like later in the film. One of my favorite Muppets is Sam the Eagle, and where they get that moment where they're in the school, they're like sat on the shelf and it keeps breaking. He's like, I really need to fix that shelf, which just perfectly goes with like Sam's design because he's like looking like with his shifty eyes. And then like you even get like nice moments from Scrooge himself. So like, you know, when the Ghost of Christmas Present is just like, you know, like, oh, there's 1,400 other brothers have come before me, and he's just like, 1,400, think of the grocery bills, and, you know, they're having fun. But again, it's a nice moment for Scrooge to show that, like, he's lightening up, which, again, some other adaptations just go from, like, evil to suddenly good, and it's, you know, they strike that balance well, I think, in this film. One thing that is unfortunate is there has been this sort of controversy over the years that they lose the When Love Was Gone song, which was cut from the theatrical version, but then made it onto the video version of it. So people like us, which sort of grew up with that, then were like, oh yeah, this song with, you know, like Scrooge and his lost love or whatever. But then because it wasn't in the cinema release, like in all subsequent versions of it, it's just the theatrical version, which doesn't have the song. Which I can understand why they originally cut it, was because they say they slowed down the film. And when I was a kid, I always thought, oh, here's the love song. Like, and it does make like a big gap in the films. Like it's got real good momentum, then it just slows down, then it goes back. So I can understand why they lost it, but at the same time, it does lose a big part of the story when you just go from like her just walking away and there's no song and he's suddenly sad. You don't get that element of like, you know, when love was gone, to show his shift from like showing what he's lost by becoming too business orientated. So, you know, I think even though it does slow the film down in some ways, I think it's maybe a good thing because it shows how important that moment is in his life. Other songs, obviously you got Marley and Marley, which is really fun, and that comes after a very scary sequence where Scrooge is going around the house. Like as a kid, that again terrified me when he gets terrified by like his like dressing gown and stuff like that.
I also just think the choices for Marley and Marley are spot on.
Yeah, well the fact that it's just one character in the original, so it's just like, oh, let's just make it two, and like, yeah, it makes sense because they're just like, you always like heckle, you know, like we heckled you in life, and it just makes sense. You got One More Sleep Till Christmas with Kermit, which I think just again encapsulates that feeling like you were saying about coming down on Christmas morning. It encapsulates that like, you know, it's only one more sleep. You got Feels Like Christmas, which is the Christmas present song, which again sort of like encapsulates that excitement of the day. Love Is Gone, which I mentioned, and two other lost songs, but again still on the album, is Bunsen and Beaker have a song called Room in Your Heart, which they sing when they're trying to convince him to give them money, and Chairman of the Board, which Sam the Eagle sings when he's convincing him to take a career in like law or business or whatever. So those are actually quite fun as well. Room in Your Heart I think is a sad loss, Chairman of the Board not so much, but Room in Your Heart is just fun because it's got Beaker singing, you know, it's just like me. But yeah, you know, like it has, like I said, so many moments. You have the comedic moments, the happy moments, sad moments, scary moments, and like I said, like Nia was saying, you know, like brings her to tears. Like one bit that always gets me is when Beaker gives Scrooge the scarf at the end. That always like sort of makes me like sort of like get a bit of a lump in my throat when like Michael Caine plays it perfectly when he goes a gift for me. Like, his face just looks so, like, amazed that somebody's given it to him. And the fact that you've got such this symbol of innocence, just a little pink tube there, like, me. And he's just like, he's just giving him this red scarf. If it was anybody else, they'd be like, yes, have this. But he is such a symbol of innocence that he can't even speak and just go, me. Like, I just love it. So, like I said, I think it's a favourite for a lot of people because they grew up with the VHS and all that kind of stuff. And you see it as a favourite for people throughout the years, and it touches on a lot of themes we've talked about before, about like scary moments, but also family. Obviously, the Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim stuff is really important as well. Again, I think what better way to tug on your heartstrings than having just like a little puppet frog, where it's like, if it's like humans, sometimes you're a bit less like, whereas like it's the thing of like if it's a dog or
for me it's when they look into the future and it's the entire family despondent because of the fact that he's gone.
Yeah,
like that's something that just sticks out massively in my head, just like seeing like Miss Piggy just really distraught for somebody who's usually quite energetic and quite powerful. Tough, just seeing her quite emotional and vulnerable is just really, really hard to deal with.
Yeah. So, like I said, we have discussed our favourite Christmas films. So, what ones, guys, do you think should go into the movie vault? What do you guys think?
Of today?
Yeah.
Obviously, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
How it teaches you to enjoy the simplicities of life and to enjoy your friends and your family and just to live the best life that you can live with what you have. And I think that's important. And, of course, Jimmy Stewart's in it. It's made by Frank Capra. It's a classic. It'll make you feel good. Deserves to be put away and stored and watched every year.
Yeah,
and that's all I can say.
No, that's good explanation. Laura, what's...
I think all four should go in that we spoke about today.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I think they've all got different elements to them that people can take from. They're all so different in what they're talking about and everything. So I think all four should go in.
Yeah,
definitely.
and especially because they all touch on similar themes. Like we were mentioning similar stuff about family and everything like that, which again doesn't mean that one film does it better than the other. They just do it in different ways. So like Home Alone has that sort of like like being without your family. Elf has the sort of like reconnecting with family. Wonderful Life has the sort of like realizing the importance of them. And then Muppets Christmas Carol has the sort of like making a family. So and we mentioned again those themes come up in all of them, the scariness, the dark moments. But it's also generational as well. It's nice they've panned out that we had Home Alone is very much like a 90s sort of film. Elf more like your modern sort of into the noughties. Muppets Christmas Carol, even though that's still sort of like 90s, again, it's based on like an old story.
Yeah, it's based on the Dickens story.
Dickens story, so it's
and
again...
then Wonderful Life being closer to the 1950s.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'm happy for all four of them to go in, and I think, definitely. Like I said, any other Christmas films I think would be discussed in the future, the Ghost of Christmas Future. But
realistically as well, I think there are a variety of Christmas films that could go into the vault, but... Because let's face it, how many bad Christmas films are there generally? I think because even if it's not critically perfect, I think people, create those feelings around the films that are just about, just the holiday season, and they just make it a part of that season. So even if it's not great, I don't think they necessarily need to be.
No, the Polar Express is a good example of that, because again, it's not like the best film, but again, loads of people still like, oh, I always watch Polar Express, because again, it's on TV, it's got Tom Hanks, all that kind of stuff. So going into the movie vault today is It's a Wonderful Life, Home Alone, Muppets Christmas Carol, and Elf. Into the movie vault you go.
Hello everyone at Well Good Movies, it's Aled here from AX6 Media. I appeared on a podcast a few months ago, and I just want to wish all of your wonderful listeners a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Just a couple of my favourite Christmas movies. I think I would have to pick my top two as Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut, and of course Batman Returns. Hopefully they count as Christmas movies. I think they do. So yeah, thank you so much for having me on, guys. I cannot wait to come back and record another one with you. And hopefully 2020 will be another fantastic year for you guys. So congrats on all the success, and I'll see you soon.
So the name for this game is All I Want for Christmas Is Who. My suggestion was List Out for the Lads.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
So basically the idea of this is that we've taken a series of film characters and we've constructed what we believe their Christmas list to Santa would be. And basically we're gonna give you clues, and we want you to see if you can guess which character this list belongs to. So the idea is the quicker you get it, the more points that you win.
Okay.
So adding along to so you both already have a point for your mini games.
So our first one.
So Paint It Black on CD. Who would want this?
Anything? Nope. Next one.
A Ticket to Disney World.
So remember, this is famous movie characters now. So like we haven't gone too bizarre. So they are staple movie characters though. So just to remind you, but big franchise ones. So next one.
A hat.
No.
Mm-mm.
A jar of dirt.
Okay. I think I know.
Yeah.
Would you like to guess?
Is it Jack Sparrow?
It is Jack Sparrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the last clue would have been rum.
Oh, okay.
And Jack Sparrow.
And
yeah.
it is Jack Sparrow.
So yeah.
So because you got that with a clue to go, you get 2 points.
Oh, wow.
So Painted Black, the idea there is that that's a Rolling Stones song, and obviously he's inspired by Keith Richards, is it? Who's inspired part of the character, and Painted Black, the Black Pearl. Disney World, the ride originates on Disney World. He always wants pirate hats, and yeah, the jar of dirt is from the second film. So yeah.
What's the hat? Why the hat?
Pirate, like he's always stealing
that's-
pirate
okay,
hats, isn't he? Like
He's basically looking for a replacement for the band.
Yeah, he loses his hat at some point.
I wouldn't have got it.
Okay, next up we have Freedom.
The guy from Braveheart? No? No.
No.
Yeah, so we'll have one guess per clue.
Oh, okay.
So,
well,
next up, 13 Reasons Why DVD box set.
Next.
Pita bread.
No. Next one.
Peter from the Hunger Games?
Well, next one.
A bow and arrow.
Katniss?
Yes, it's
Hey.
Katniss Everdeen. Yeah.
The last clue being a Mockingjay pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Katniss Everdeen. Yeah.
So again, with 2 clues, so with a clue to go, Nia gets 2 points.
So yeah, 13 Reasons Why, because there's 13 districts, and obviously there's a lot of drama in that program, so it seems like something she would like. But Peter Bread, Peter Malark.
yes, that's one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
But then with Freedom.
Yeah,
Come
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so next. A squirrel.
Doug from Up?
Good guess,
That's
though.
a very good
yeah,
guess.
that's a good guess. Laura,
Which
did you have anything?
No.
Okay, next one.
A pony.
Anything? No. Next.
Wart cream.
No. Next one.
Chocolate.
Think
I'm
about
going
the
to be
thing.
kicking myself for this one, I think.
Next one.
A golden
Oh,
ticket.
Charlie from the the Chocolate Factory?
Not Charlie.
His grandpa?
No,
Oh.
one guess per clue.
Oh, shit.
Laura.
Excuse me.
Veruca Salt.
Yes, it's Veruca Salt.
Nice.
Yes, the Wart cream, Veruca.
Oh my God.
She wants, Daddy, I want a pony. And she wants a squirrel. So yes, Veruca Salt.
Good job.
Next one.
A Christmas tree star.
No.
A DVD of The Apprentice.
Next.
Moisturizer.
Think Star and Apprentice, that's all I can say.
A cloak.
Next one.
An empire.
Put them together and what have you got? That's not anything?
I'm trying to think which one it was. There's so many. Yeah.
So a Christmas star, Apprentice. Moisturizer, like I said, I'd think the look of the character. Again, cloak, the look of the character. And yeah, I suppose the last one has kind of got the name is in there.
Yeah, I just can't think of his name.
I think we're going to have to go for a count.
Who
I don't know the exact name, but like just the sort of classification.
Okay, well, it's definitely someone... definitely someone part of the Sith in Star Wars.
Okay.
Who is
But I just...
the...
No.
No.
Darth Vader?
Sorry.
No. It is
It's just
the
the
Emperor.
Oh, I forgot his name.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
We would have given you the point if you said the Emperor from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's his Palpatine?
Palpatine,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
So, unfortunately, no points there. Okay.
Shocking.
Next list. A toy sword from The Entertainer.
No.
A signed picture of TV star Wolf.
Think of the words you've had so far. So, sword, entertainer, wolf. The character. If you know the wolf.
I mean, for that one, don't think of the word.
Don't think of the word, but yeah, think where he's from, maybe.
A world's best dad mug.
Next.
Tickets to Rome.
After all those, it does sound like, Price is Right. It's like, you get a ticket to Rome. Next.
A Roman soldier outfit.
Entertainer.
Nope.
You've actually heard this character today, actually. You would have heard him. The dad. Even the symbol, I think, at the end. Oscar.
No, I'm blanked.
Nia, any guesses?
No. Make me angry.
It was Maximus Decimus Meridius from Gladiator.
Yeah.
So a toy sword from The Entertainer. Are you not entertained?
Disappointed in myself.
Wolf was the TV star from the show Gladiators.
Oh, yeah,
World's Best Dad because he's avenging the death of his son.
Yeah, that one.
Tickets to Rome because it's Rome, and Roman Soldier because it's Rome. Okay,
This is hard. This is good.
Yeah.
This is great work.
Yeah, it would be the ones that I came up with.
Yeah,
ones
the
No,
most
that's
cryptic.
good.
So, next one. An Alexa.
This one is cryptic.
Yeah.
You have to think about what Alexa is, I guess.
I kind of want to say, I don't know what it's called, but the little robot in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
think it's Marv or something.
That's a good guess.
But unfortunately...
It's wrong,
No.
but it's a good guess.
Good guess, yeah.
I have no guesses.
Next.
Jack and the Beanstalk book.
No. Nia?
Wally?
You're on the right lines in
Yeah.
terms of
I think
company.
the next clue will get you to think closer or more further away from the current sort of
Trendy.
yeah. Baguettes from Marie's.
Okay. No,
Think the food. The main thing is the food. No, next.
Jingle bells.
No.
Finally, an enchanted Christmas.
Put it together, nobody can
I don't think it's right, but I'm just going to guess maybe Giselle from Enchanted. No.
I'm
You-
gonna make a
Oh, you are going to kick yourself because you are.
Nia, do you have any?
random guess. Olaf?
You were... Laura, you were incredibly close. I think
It was Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. So
I
close.
get the baguettes now.
Yeah.
So the reason we went for Alexa is because it's a device that talks to you.
And not like
Like
furniture,
Lumiere,
Yeah.
That's good.
Jack and the Beanstalk is actually the book that she's reading at the beginning. When,
Damn.
It's the one that she reads over and over
Wow.
again. Yeah, Jingle Bells because it has Belle in the name of it.
Baguette, Marie, the baguettes.
Yes, I get that one.
And Enchanted Christmas, the DVD spin-off
Okay.
that they did.
Oh, I remember.
So, the results.
So in the end, it was a close contest. Nia had 3. Laura is the winner with 4.
Good job. Boop, 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 boop.
Yay. So,
You win another cracker.
Well, hey, I hope I was a green.
So you get a trophy for your.
Oh wow! Thank you very much.
I love the fact the listeners are going to hear that and think, "Oh yeah, that's prestigious." It's a small trophy.
Yeah.
It is an impressive trophy.
And I've prepared for this situation, so this is a chance now to right the wrongs that have been previously done. This time, Laura.
Right. Thank you.
What is?
Who's in there? Miss Hope.
Let's hope. Let's see.
What wrongs are you writing?
Well, it wasn't a wrong before.
Oh, okay.
It's the fact that she had Jerry, which was like the worst one.
Oh, that's the dad, isn't it?
Yeah.
He sucks.
It is.
Mr. Poopy Butthole. He can sit in the car.
Yes, so you also got a miniature hero.
Amazing.
But it is Christmas again, so you don't go empty-handed. Nia, Rick and Morty or Harry Potter?
Let's do Harry Potter.
Harry Potter?
Yeah.
What do you win?
Let's take a look. That's a keychain. I believe is this Luna?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Luna Lovegood.
Yes,
nice.
Luna's good. I like it.
Yeah, different.
Cool. Keychain, awesome. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for joining us, Nia.
Thank you.
And yes, we shall catch you soon. You have to shoot off now. She's
Yes.
on important film business.
Yes.
Thank you
Important
for joining
duties.
us. Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
And yeah, Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining us.
Merry Christmas. Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday to you too. So, the biggest thing we have to say after that is, Merry Christmas. Have a happy new year. We will still be back with another episode before the arrival of a certain famous sci-fi film. Starts with Star. Wonder what that could be.
Yep.
So we'll be talking about that in 2
And I'm
weeks'
sure
time.
people will be warring with us when they see what it is.
Yeah. So, that'll be a fun episode. And then we'll be back in the new year talking about films of the decade. And we got loads of stuff. Me and Craig recently met up to sort of plan out our future episodes. So we've got loads of good stuff coming up. Like I said, please follow us on social media like Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. So you can find us at Fresh Take Hub, which is our website where you can find good movies on, which is freshtakehub.co.uk. There you can find all the stuff that we're doing, including reviews, videos, and this podcast, which is then at freshtakehub.co.uk/wellgoodmovies. And have a look through our previous episodes. Laura, you were in our Endgame episode and our Spielberg one, so Christmas, perfect time to go through those old Christmas films. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Just say Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yeah, and have a Happy New Year. So, and Nia, like I said, you can find her, I think, is Aloofness on social media, so on Twitter, Instagram. And we thank her for being on the show. She had to dash off to do some filming today. But we thank her for coming on and talking about It's a Wonderful Life. Merry Christmas, everybody. Again, thank you to everyone who participated. Thanks to the guys of The Real Experience. Thank you to Christopher Maxwell and to Lucas Burks as well, who has helped us a lot today and in getting the show done the past few episodes. And what better way to finish off than with a Christmas carol. So,
are you going
take it away.
Sing?
It's up to you. The lyrics are on screen.
Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Good tidings we bring
to you and your kid. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll leave it there. Too bad Nia wasn't there to back us up. We'll get everyone else to sing and we'll add it on like a multi-track or something.
Wow.
Christmas 2019 number 1. Well, good movies with We Wish You Merry Christmas.
There's been worse Christmas number 1.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you guys. Have a Merry Christmas. Don't eat too much. Watch some great Christmas films. Tell us what you are watching on social media. And thank you and have a very happy Christmas. And we hope to see you in the next episode and in the new year. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Is it just me or was that weirdly sexual?